So think of me, young Italian stallion, 18 years old, actually 19 when I got my driver's license, in a hurry to get that driver's license, to finish that class, to buy a cheap car, 500 euros, my first car. The car was called Y10, 1988 car. Tiny little sardine car, zero safety, but it had an engine and it was great. I don't know if the engine was 11.1, 1.1 or 1.2, I think. Tiny car. In Italy, cars were small, compact cars, because gas is cheap. Gas is not cheap, sorry. The equivalent of $10 a gallon if you want to buy from Europe, plus the euro is a little bit higher. So I was really like up and running, really wanted to go. Be independent, don't be dependent to somebody else, just carry me around. So I was just there, did everything as fast as I could, and in order to get the license, you go there for a month to study the theory and driving school. And this gives me like SpongeBob vibes. I remember like a SpongeBob never really took his driver's license. That's crazy. I remember those episodes because my kids were little and I was watching those with them. So, and then another month for the practice, and I passed my exam. It was very difficult, 35 questions or 30, and you were just allowed to do 4 mistakes. Actually, four mistakes and over, you're out. So I did 3 mistakes and I passed it. My cousin didn't pass it the first time. He cried and he took the test, the whole course again. It was insane. It's crazy. But much easier here. In Italy, in Europe, you take driver's license at 18. You're allowed to drive. Here in the United States at 16. I was looking forward to it. That was my ticket to freedom, ladies and gentlemen. But what happens today? Fewer teens want to drive, and it's changing how they spend. No way. So young drivers point to high prices for car and insurance, combined with other viable options for public transportations, for 2 rides from mom and dad. So driving a car, long a symbol of true independence, is now more expensive and complicated than it's worth for many young Americans. This changed view on driving for teens and 20-somethings and manifesting itself in everything from a decline in car purchases to fewer road trips with friends. They say they're often comfortable, relying on public transportation, walking, or having a family member drive them or give them a lift, and saving money along the way. The percentage of 19 years old with a driver's license dropped steadily from 85.3% in 1983, the year I was born, by the way, to 68.7% in 2022, according to the most recent data from the Federal Highway Administration. For those to decide who own a car, contend with large jumps in costs, and prices for car and parts and insurance have all risen in the past few years. Okay, so I went deeper and tried to find other information. And among the economic factors, what I found is that, prices for cars have risen. Yes, they are. And this includes not just the initial purchase price, but also the insurance, fuel maintenance, and potential loan payments. So car insurance rates, have surged, you probably know, has surged dramatically. From 2021 to the end of 2023, the cost of full coverage car insurance was expected to increase by 22%. My car insurance, ladies and gentlemen, went up by 20%, exactly. With some states like California, Missouri, and Minnesota seeing potential increases. Minnesota, oh my goodness. By the way, Governor Walz, it's governor from Minnesota, actually, and now he's running for as vice president. Wow, that's insane. Seeing potential increases of over 50% by 2024. Over the past year alone, auto insurance rates have been reported to increase by up to 24% annually, making a 47-year high in inflation for auto insurance. So they're really hammering us. So the younger generations have environmental concerns, because they driving gas-powered vehicles, it's contributes to carbon emissions in no way. So therefore, they feel discouraged and anxious too. Lack of necessity. So they say here urban planning and lifestyle changes mean that for many teens, especially in urban areas, driving isn't as essential as it was because there is public transportation, walking, everything is closer, there's viable alternatives, and there's no appeal to get a driver's license. Cultural shift. This is curious. Cultural shift. The traditional rite of passage of getting a driver's license has somewhat diminished in cultural significance. Some argue that this is due to shortages in how independence and maturity are viewed. That is absolutely true. Younger generations nowadays, I don't know why you have the feeling that older generations shit on younger generations all the time. Will Gen Z shit out the other generations coming after them? I'm pretty sure they will, because I'm a millennial. And they always told me that I will own nothing and be happy. They told me that I eat too much avocado toast. That is insane. Wow. And they say that I don't want a house. But actually, I do want a house. And I don't mind avocado toast. I'm going to add some protein on that avocado toast. You cannot just have avocado toast and avocado. You got the carbs and the fat alone. No. You got to eat enough protein, ladies and gents. Remember that. So some argue that this is due to changes in how independence and maturity are viewed. Wow. Influenced by both economic realities and cultural shifts toward less car-centric lifestyles. Wow. Parental influence. There's mention of parents using tracking apps, which might make driving less appealing due to the lack of privacy or the feeling of being constantly monitored. Parents, what are you doing? No, I don't think this is a BS excuse. Are you kidding me? Some parents some kids that are going to interview, bring their parents to interview. You're not supposed to do that. You go and you tackle it yourself, okay? Grow some courage and go and face what you have to face yourself. When you do it once, you can do it once again. So interest in other activities. Okay. So it says technology also has given... I also was reading another thing. Oh, there you go. Anxiety and fear. Increasing of anxiety. Wow. Maybe I just read this. Wow. Yeah. Well, anxiety. Are these the most anxious generations? I do think so. Are they the ones that are most afraid? Some of them. I would not put everybody in the same. But so far, stories that I've heard is like they really are averse to taking risks. I always said this regarding new generations, Gen Z communication. They're born in this world of social media. Therefore, they've been texting all their life, writing posts, and they're grown up. They grew in a world where they were raised in a world where there's really no need for communication. And just remind me again, why are we teaching writing cursive in school? Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know why. Because are we going to use it? We should keep on doing that though. You really, what if the world goes to shit and you still need to write something, So you got to do that. It's better if you learn cursive, okay? I don't write cursive. I write in capital letters, by the way. I don't know, I got that thing there. So that translates into driving. They have less needs, but that's another thing. Look, I had my first time in the car. Too much to TMI, too much information, and that was really my first big shot at independence. Shot. Woo! Once again, nailed it. So it was my first really one of the first gesture of independence that I had, because who's got money to rent a hotel room, or who's got the time to go home? Parents are always there. If you go to her house, no way, they're gonna kill me. So you always have to find a place. You go in some remote areas and go in the car. So yes, the car was an incentive, and it was great. It was my little world out there. I had something over my head, and it was something that was mine, and I really valued it. So maybe nowadays, but maybe if you were raised with nothing, and you appreciate when you have little. So that's some other thing. We have enjoyed some great economic growth, and luckily nobody went starving. And when life is easy, maybe people will get more soft to a certain extent. Plus, these kids nowadays, some of them have climate anxiety, so they're very climate conscious, environmentally conscious, and they make different choices still with their Apple devices and their Starbucks cup, blaming capitalism for anything that happens in the environment, while they truly and actively benefit from it. But I'm not here to talk shit about anyone. My topic here is the driving. So there has been a shift, of course, a generational shift, because there's really no need. There's little spirit of initiative for most of these young kids, and therefore they feel the need or to take an Uber also. That's changed radically the way we move around. The robotaxi is going to be something that is going to change, revolutionize transportation as well. So there's many factors that come into play. But if you ask me personally, I would just go ahead and have my kids, of course, give them freedom. And there are costs, but doesn't mean you need a Lamborghini or an Audi or a Mercedes. It's your first car. You may have something little that might, with a little bit more miles, maybe they can just push you around, and that works just fine, or if you can afford it, go ahead with newer vehicles if you can. So to each its own. I just found it curious to tackle this issue here, and that's it for today. And stay tuned. I once again have a profile on X if you want to follow. Same name, at Elauno number 1 with the number 1 nearby. If you want to subscribe and share, follow, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button and to find the new videos. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for listening. Bye.